We understand an upside-down world, but they're writing us off before we get to the starting line. A stalled generation? Who do you think is gonna fix all this? We will, because our future is the future. So we're going to build bridges and hospitals in a day, and feed those left in the cold. We're going to do all this and more, because we have an appointment with destiny.
There we go. What's happening, sports fans? We welcome you back to another episode of San Diego Prep Insider, the official podcast of the CIF San Diego section, which means absolutely nothing to nobody. But hey, we got something that does mean something to somebody. We have one of the best basketball teams in San Diego, and they are playing some of their best basketball right now, so we're catching them at a good time and can only serve to somehow be the media curse that goes wrong. And, like, we can't boost these guys any higher. They're already riding high. So with that note, thank you, Montgomery, for being here. I apologize if it's all downhill from here due to the media curse, but let's go left to right. Introduce yourselves, name, grade, position, and if you have been putting up an impressive amount of points per game, you're more than welcome to drop that too as well.
I'm Devin Hamilton. I'm a sophomore, and I play guard and forward.
I'm Alex Sanchez. I'm a sophomore, and I play point guard.
My name is JJ Sanchez, sophomore, and I play forward.
Related?
Yes.
Somewhat of a visual gag because they look almost identical.
My name is Anthony Hamilton, and I'm a senior, and I play center.
David Soto, Jr., and I play guard and forward.
My name is Saeed Mendez. I'm a sophomore. I'm a combo guard.
Coach Ed Martin, I'd like to lose about 20 to 30 pounds so I can play again. That's seriously a goal. I'd like to go back and play again.
And how many years at Montgomery for you, Coach?
25 total. This was the 14th as the varsity coach.
14th as varsity head coach, and you have taken this from where was the program when you found? I know that the division system and everything's a little bit different, but you've taken it from where to a program that has games broadcast on ESPN, is open division bound and in contention and talking that has in a way that has other teams scared.
Yeah, so when I first took over, we were kind of on a decline. I want to say the previous 3 seasons were 4 or 5 and then a 2-win season. The year before I took over, we were 2-26. I was an assistant coach on that staff. And our longtime head coach, he was there for 20 plus years. He decided to retire, and I moved into the spot, and just felt like some changes needed to be made. I think that's kind of when the new style of basketball was starting to be played, and that's just kind of like how I like to do things.
And now you like to do things in big fashion that has TV cameras coming down to campus and everything like that. So, guys, from your reaction, how's this year going? Yes, this is where we planned it at 21-3 going into the last 4 or 5 games. Is everybody happy, or is there still room for, hey, we got to do better, we got all these things left to grow into?
So I think that there's always room for growth, especially with us, like how they're all so young and they have a lot of time to practice and be with Coach Ed, because Coach Ed's an amazing coach. So is Coach Boo and Coach Javier. Like they have so much like they're so hard on us because they know that we can be so good.
Well, and you're one of 2 seniors on the team, yeah? That's correct?
Yeah.
And is that sometimes that's, I'm bummed, I wish there was more guys my grade, and sometimes that's, I'm stoked because I see the future here, and This is crazy. Like I'm getting it all ahead of schedule.
I'm just happy to see them here with me for my last year.
And for you guys, we're looking at, like I said, about 4 more games here, 3 more games, depending on what point you are consuming this. We've got East Lake again. Then you've got Battle at the Bay, where you're going to take on Santa Fe Christian, which is always fun. Then Bonita Vista, and then San Ysidro. That feels like that's not necessarily entirely just, we're going to have senior night, then some cupcakes, then, sail off into the playoffs. So still a little bit of a challenge, but is that what you guys want going into the playoffs, is to be playing that kind of competition? Or do you prefer at this point, hey, can we just get to the playoffs? Like where are we at as a team?
We're just taking it step by step, one game at a time. And we're not satisfied yet. We haven't reached our goals yet. So
for you guys as a team this season, some big games, both in section and out of section, some big tournaments, basketball. That's always kind of front loaded in terms of the big games that you might necessarily play. But was there one that you look back on now as, okay, that's when the team started to like really either come together this year, or that's when we kind of showed out to the county, hey, this is what we're capable of? Because it seems like you've had kind of a couple of wins that might necessarily, one team would consider, hey, that alone would be our signature win, but you guys have had a couple of them this year. So I'm curious what you guys as a team maybe internally are saying, that was a big turning point for us this season.
I think it's the loss to Del Norte. I think that brought everyone together.
Oh, so you're saying you're saying it wasn't a win. It was we took a loss to Del Norte, and that caused us.
We got a big lead in the fourth. We choked that lead. I think that just brought everyone together. Everyone bought in and just wanted us, made us work hard.
Was that for? I'm curious for you guys who are juniors and sophomores and on the younger side. Was that something where coach and the seniors and the leadership had to sort of be like, hey, this is how we improve from a loss like that? Like this is how we bounce back, or did you guys as a team come up with, like, did somebody give a passionate, fiery speech, like slamming a locker in the corner, or was it just, hey, we're gonna learn from it? Like how did you guys bounce back from that?
I feel like we really got humbled because, like, going into the season, like, we would do exceptionally really good, you know. But against Del Norte, fourth quarter, like they just said, we choked, and like at the end of the game, like we really had a realization that, damn, we can't take our feet off the gas pedal, you know. Like we may be this good, but it proved to us that someone like Del Norte can just take the 60-point lead right back and take the game away from us. So I feel like that really opened our eyes.
And it's not that necessarily Del Norte is like a bad team, but it's the way in which the loss happens that you guys are saying, like, woof, that stuck with us. And from there, the things got corrected. And, Coach, I'm sure you had to be happy to see that the team was able and capable of bouncing back. Any concerns with the younger kids this year? Any growing pains with them having to step in, or this group seems pretty poised and ready, to go straight into the fire?
No, I think what happened last year, a lot of these guys were freshmen, and we were able to get to the Division II semis last year. So, and we worked really hard in the off season to make sure that we were in the position that we were in right now.
So you've gone through the growing pains.
I believe so. I think they grew up a lot. They've grown up a lot faster than I personally thought that they would. But and that's fun as a coach because the process comes quicker. I keep having to remind them, hey, we're not skipping any steps. We got to make sure that we're locked in just to the game in front of us. We're only as good as our last win or only as bad as our last loss. So we got to every day. I always have this saying with them, like, that every day is a blessing. Like, I truly believe that. I live my life that way. And that's kind of one of the things I want them to understand is that, life is a day by day thing. And we want to make sure that we're progressing every single day.
For you guys, what has it been like on campus? Are people responding appropriately to your level of success, or do we need to ever so gently and slightly call out a small portion of the student base to show, hey, it's the playoffs. You can come out for 2 or 3 games and it won't kill you? I'm seeing some nods both ways, so maybe a couple of packed gyms this year, but not quite the
We get love from our students.
You are getting love?
Yeah, we do.
By far, yeah.
Okay.
We have the Temple, the MOH student section, and they there's some leadership on there, about 4 or 5 people, and they really bring it. They actually really bring it to road games also, which I love. Like, that's something that we haven't really had in the past.
So this is the first year of actual road love. You were kind of leaning a little out on you feel like maybe it could go a little bit crazier for the playoffs.
No, because for me, I played football, so I've experienced a different student section and different type of people. But
are you saying the football showing out better for football than for really? Yeah. You guys are in the open division conversation. Not that
no.
Okay. Welcome back to the studio mic segment where we turned it down, and this is just for the people in the studio right now. Really?
No, but
yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, school, and I say that lovingly to the football team. Yeah. Like, it's just that to me, there's a big when you're talking about D4 versus O, like that's a.
But they do ask us all the time, oh, when is our games, home away?
And actually the football guys are like some of our football and baseball are like our biggest and loudest guys, man. Like I see those guys out there, and it's community love. You know what I mean? Like we'll go to their games.
Well, as long as they learn the appropriate way to chant and aren't accidentally saying defense on offense and are just there for raw noise, you can appreciate it. That eventually they'll get it, they'll figure it out. And it's called the Temple. Has that is that officially? Because I saw that floating around on an Instagram page, and I didn't know if that was actually what you guys are calling it. That is the name for the student section.
That is the Temple.
Okay, I can dig that. Hey, Kingsley, come lay down. Our intern over there getting friendly, looking for some screen time herself. So for you guys, the Temple has come together. The apologies for that. The students are showing up. The games are going well. Obviously, with playoffs, you're going to say, hey, we want to win a championship. But I'm curious, with a very underclassman light team this year, what do you as a senior, maybe even singularly, not just as a senior class, what do you want the legacy of this year's team to be over the next couple of years? Because this feels like with some sophomores and juniors here, this could be a couple of year run for Montgomery that we look back and say, oh, like this season's squad started it because they did X, Y, or Z. What are you hoping for?
So, of course, I'm hoping for a CIF championship this year. Knowing that my brother goes to this school, of course, I'm going to be at his games, cheering my boys on. Since I know them, I've known them for a minute now. I'm going to be cheering them on. I'm going to be at every game, but I just expect them to get better, and I'm always going to be hard on them because I know that they can be good and they can do good for our school and for the basketball team and for our coaches.
So, I forget who it was on the football team when they came in, but it was a basketball player that came in wearing the whole basketball setup.
I thought it was Mario, right? Mario.
Bigger dude in the background.
JV for us last year.
And I said it on that podcast, and I'll say it again now. You guys have some of, if not the cleanest looks as a group, as a singular organization. The Montgomery, not the whole school, just the basketball program, has some of the nicest looks around. Do we like it as a team? Yes? Would you guys all internally like this? Because
we love it.
I would say if I was maybe 3 inches tall. She's very friendly. If I was maybe 3 inches taller, I would feel comfortable rocking that and trying to be a bit of a pose and be like, yeah, I might have played basketball at Montgomery because those are nice looks. Where did you come up with the whole design? Do the kids have? You were pointing over at. He's the mastermind behind all this.
Yeah, we run a lot of stuff. We do a lot of tournaments and things like that, and it all goes back to the kids. And I actually have to give props to one of my boys. He's the assistant baseball coach at our school, and we grew up together. And one of his sayings stuck with me. His name's Manny Hermosillo Jr. And I remember he said this a long time ago, and I remember when I took the program over, he said, like, we try to look good so we play good. And I was never that guy. I just, these guys see me in my PE attire all the time, and they have a running joke with my shoes.
It's not this?
No. They have a running joke with my shoes. They call them the Air Ed Martins because I'm always, like, wearing, like, some running shoes and stuff. So, yeah, I remember when Coach Hermo said that, and I was like, man, that's a good approach. And, the kids like it. It gives a sense of pride around campus and everything like that.
Sure.
So we have Montgomery baseball to thank.
Yeah. Like I will say that when I took over, that's something that stuck with me.
Fair enough. I can dig it. And you guys like the look, yes? So there's no alternate or is there any jersey, anything being changed for the playoffs? We're not bringing anything new out?
No, we started with the we got some black uniforms this year, which these guys really like to wear on the road, and
I love them.
Yeah, so do I. I think it's like, college football and college basketball kind of started that, and I think it's a trend that looks nice.
Oh, and the coaches that come in here and say, oh, black's not one of our school colors, I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, it makes jerseys pop. It's nice. Yep. I'd rather go black than white on white. I saw Bonita Vista do that in football a couple of years ago. Could not read the numbers, could not read the names, nothing. It was absolutely horrible from a media standpoint. So obviously the team's got the look, but for the vibe, I always am curious who is in charge of the music, the practice mood, getting team ready come game day. There tends to be a bit of a story behind it. Is the team's senior captain also the music leader? And if so, what's on the team playlist this year?
That just makes me laugh because like all of the times that we spend together, we value it, and I feel that it's not just me. It's all of us, but I just bring all of us together.
You're the glue guy.
Yeah, I'm always laughing they always say I have a contagious laugh.
He does.
And during practice, I'm always like, come on, y'all. Like, come on. Like, we got to do this. Like, I want to win this. For the music, they honestly don't like the music that I play, but it's hype music. Like, it gets us hype and it gets us ready for practice and for games and stuff.
So your vibe matches your smile in terms of it's constantly on and it's always energy, and the team has had down days where after a loss or whatever, we're coming in post Del Norte and he's all smiles and tons of hype energy, and you guys are like, how? Why? Okay, I can see that. I can see that being how you guys get through. Just as always, we like to close out by saying thank you guys for being here. We wish you the best of luck. We will point out that the info and all of this. Yes, the intern is sad that you're already leaving. We'll point out that we have the info for all the games and everything down below or side to side or whatever, but definitely would like to say, because we already had Mission Bay in here this week, please check out the Battle at the Bay. That is something that I think is a cool tournament, that it features a nice little, like, for as much as basketball is big tournaments at the beginning of the season, this is a nice little cherry on top at the end of the year when some teams have maybe had some league schedules that have not featured nonstop action for the entirety of it. Not meant as a disservice or down talking to anybody, but sometimes when you're in open division and D4 in the same league, it's not properly balanced. That's a whole nother podcast as to how to fix the rankings and divisions and everything. And we're not here for that noise. I don't want that. I'm sorry I stepped in that Instagram and or Twitter comment section. Chill. But yeah, definitely check out the Saturday game. 1:30 against SFC.
1:30, yes.
1:30 against SFC. If not, close out the game against San Ysidro as on the road. I'm assuming you are all looking forward to the opportunity to silence that gym and potentially end on a win there. So we wish you the best of luck, and we'll talk to you guys soon, sports fans.